यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं हदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थ विभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादी नगेन्द्र संगभवये योगीन्द्र वन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्त दिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। It is not possible for anybody other than the enlightened one, the one who has discovered his identity as Brahman, Aham Brahmaiti. Other than such a person, it is not possible to be free from the shackles of karma. Because this karma will force one to be born again and again. And if one thinks that by my not performing the action, the karma will not take place, then this is wrong. Because not performing the action is also another form of action. And therefore, instead of doing what you are supposed to do, you are doing what you shouldn't be doing. Doing something that you shouldn't be doing amounts to papa karma. And therefore, if somebody thinks that by my not performing the action is what is called as karma sannyasa, and it is this karma sannyasa which is the path of renunciation for attainment of liberation, and I shall attain liberation only through this, then the person is totally wrong. Because not performing an action over here is amounting to doing something that you are not supposed to do. Something like one should not steal. चोरी नहीं करनी चाहिए. क्यों? पाप है. It is something that is wrong, unrighteous, adharma है. हिंसा नहीं करनी चाहिए, अधर्म है. Why cause pain to anyone? Adharma hai. So these are the things which will be told to you as not to do, which means something that you are not supposed to do. Now, by refusing to do the action, you are doing something that you are not supposed to do, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Then obviously you are doing something that you are not supposed to do, and hence you could not do what you're supposed to do. For example, there is a school student and he has to finish his homework. So he's supposed to finish the homework. Then he goes to the school the next day and he has not done the homework. And the reason that he tells, because I was playing outside in the street. Why was he not able to do what he's supposed to do? Because he was doing something that what he was not supposed to do at that very time, which was meant for something else. This is not a time for you to play in the street. It was the time for you to do the homework, finish that work, and then you would have gone out. So not doing is not going to be karma sannyas. In fact, it will become amount to papa charana. But this person now glorifies his not doing as if it is path of liberation, attainment of the highest. It is not going to be that. Then the person is living something that is very dangerous, and that is living a life of self-deception. Because he is making himself think that deceiving himself, and he may even convince others. So that becomes deception for others, that what a great soul he is, sitting still like a rock. Not even lifting his eyelids, hey, like a rock. But he is exerting effort to do that. Why? Because inside he is being propelled to act, but he refuses to act. So he is like a volcano inside, but outside he now shows he is like a cube of ice. And therefore it is self-deception and deception of others. And that is the reason why Shri Krishna Bhagavan is going to use the word mithyachara sauchyate. Mithyachara hai, of deception, behavior of deception. Achara matlab behavior. Your course of action is called as achara. And in common parlance also we have achara vichara. The way you conduct yourself. Conduct is called as achara. It is a conduct of deception. Because it is not going to take him to the highest good, liberation. But he has convinced himself, and that's why he is living a self-deceptive life. Everybody, as long as the ignorance is going to rule the roost, till then, the person is going to be the slave of Prakriti and her gunas. These gunas will force the action out of him. Avashaha, forcefully. He does not have any vasha. Vasha मतलब उनके ऊपर कोई इसका अधिकार बस नहीं है, उसके वश में नहीं है. Rather he, वह प्रकृति के गुणों के वश में है. He is under the control, and he will be forced to act by the gunas of Prakriti. So Arjuna, if you think that by giving up the action, giving up what you should be doing, is called as sannyasa, then you are going to be wrong, Arjuna. Sannyasa is not simply just giving up action like this. Because action, sannyasa can be had only under these two circumstances, under these two conditions. One, either you are enlightened, or the second one is you want nothing else but enlightenment alone. If your idea is let me be enlightened, then I will walk around the people sanctifying their life. Now you are not seeking enlightenment. What you are seeking is appreciation of from other people. What you are seeking is recognition from other people. And that's why this is lokavasana, lokeshana. If you think that, after I am enlightened, I will go about blessing this whole world, changing this world. Now, over there, enlightenment is the means. Sir, enlightenment is the final end. It cannot be turned into a means. What is the use of enlightenment? It is a question as silly as this. Why are you eating food? Because I want to be satisfied. I want to satiate the hunger. That's why I'm eating food. Then my question, if I ask you a question, why do you want to be satisfied? What will you do with that satisfaction? What will you do? What are you going to do with that satisfaction? Do you have an answer to that? It is an end. It can't be turned into the means. Liberation means absolute freedom, end of dukkha. Now I want to be enlightened, and then after I want to create followers so that I can become their guru and distribute them jnana. Then your desire is not for liberation. Your desire is for a position of power and recognition. You're not free. That's why Arjuna, if just by giving up the karma is not the means, is not going to be the lead you to liberation. Nacha sanyasana deva siddhim samadhigacchati. But the one who is seeking nothing else but liberation, it is only under these two conditions that the karma is given up. When a person has discovered himself to be the meaning of I as Brahman, Purnavastu, that what is infinite, limitless, Purna, because you are searching for completeness. You are looking for fulfillment. And having found that fulfillment is my own nature, now nothing more is needed. The meaning of this I is now that what is Purnam. When the person who has discovered the meaning of I is Purnam, matlab Brahma, only an enlightened one is capable of giving up the karma, and renunciation takes place there. Renunciation of the karma takes place yet under one more condition, and that is where a person now wants nothing. He is not motivated by the idea of wanting to have progeny, continuity of the species and of the genes. Putreshana is not his motivating factor. Vitteshana is not the motivating factor of his life. Lokeshana is not the motivating factor of his life. When he is free from these three eshanas, then, and when he wants knowledge and knowledge alone, he wants liberation and liberation alone, because liberation is attained through knowledge. And that's why he wants knowledge, nothing else. And therefore, coming to this renunciation is equivalent to following the jnana, following the abidance in knowledge or seeking the knowledge. There is renunciation. Arjuna, you want to renounce the karma because you have found your duty, that what you are supposed to do is unpleasant and difficult. We want to avoid the duty, and we are looking for a justification for it. For not doing what we are supposed to do. And Arjuna thinks it is quite justified in saying that since I want liberation, I can give up the karma. But Arjuna, liberation is wanted by you. No doubt, you are a seeker of liberation. But is it true that only liberation is wanted by you? Because you have a list of other things too. And Paramatma doesn't seem to be on the priority list of your demands. In fact, we are talking about renunciation is possible only for him who has Paramatma alone, liberation alone, knowledge alone on his priority list. There is no other priority. In fact, there is nothing else other than this. The whole page is empty, except this. Is that your case, Arjuna? Is that your case? So people who are taking to sannyas because, and there could be therefore, if this is not the reason for your sannyas, then every other reason that you have is a wrong reason. I am taking sannyas to serve the nation. No, you don't need to be a sannyasi to serve the nation. You can help the nation become rich, integrated, even by staying as a householder, performing your duties as a husband, as a father, contributing towards the society as a responsible citizen, for which you don't need to become a renunciate. Now you tell, if you have any other reason, हमने तो धर्म बचाने के लिए संन्यास लिया, मत लो। मत लो। यदि तुमको धर्म बचाना है तो तुम गृहस्थ बन करके धर्माचरण, संन्यास लेने की आवश्यकता। इसलिए अर्जुन, that's why Arjun, don't think that it is only because of you giving up the karma you will attain the siddhi. Siddhi matlab the accomplishment called as moksha. Then this is an erroneous judgment. Therefore, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, in the verse number 6, Karmendriyani Sanyamya Yaaste Manasa Smaran Indriyarthan Vimudhatma Mithyaachara Sauchyate. Now, if a person simply keeps the organs of action under a tight control, हाथ नहीं हिलाएंगे, पैर नहीं हिलाएंगे, नहीं. But somewhere behind all this, manasa smaran, in the mind, he is still dwelling upon the object of senses. Indriyarthan vimudhatma manasa smaran. He is vimudhatma. Vimudha matlab, it comes from the verbal root muha, to mean, as if hypnotized. Mohitam. Sammohitam. That is what you have even in Indian languages as hypnosis. Sammohanam. So therefore, Indriyarthan Vimudhatma, he is just not mohitaha, but he is Vimohitaha, Vishesha Rupena. Now he, as if he has gained a special qualification, master's degree in being hypnotized by himself. And so Vimudhatma, such a person, Mithyacharaha Sauchyate. He is somebody who is living a life of deception. Whether you are successful in deceiving others or not, the more dangerous deception is self-deception. The way you make yourself believe in something which is not true is deception. And that is dangerous. Mithyacharaha sauchyate. And I'm not saying that the word self-deception comes from Abhishek Chaitanya. Swayam Swami Shankaranandji also uses this word. And he says, Atma Vanchakaha. Vanchana means deception, falsehood. Atma Vanchana. Atma Vanchakaha iti satbhihi iti uchyate. And Bhagavan Shri Krishna says he is called as a self-deceptive person, as a deceptive person. He is called by whom is also important. A foolish person or an ignorant person calling you as very scholarly is of no importance. Let a scholar call you scholar. Then that kind of a certification will become valid. Is not it? कोई मूर्ख यदि तुमको विद्वान कहे तो मूर्ख का प्रमाण पत्र लेकर के क्या करो? विद्वान कहे कि जी हाँ ये समझदार है विद्वान, तब तो तुम्हारी विद्वत्ता की परीक्षा हो चुकी। Nowadays you have that poll, cast your vote, right or wrong, give your judgment. Are these the people who are capable of giving judgment? Who is a better singer? Let a singer determine that. Those who do not know anything about singing music, how you are making them a judge? You definitely are going to create cacophony. Music के नाम पे तो तुम फिर कुछ भी करोगे. It's not it. So therefore Shankaranand says sadbhihi uchyate. He is called as mithyachar by good people. एक भिखारी दूसरे भिखारी को भिखारी बोले तो क्या बात है. sadbhihi iti uchyate. Sadbhi means those who are living the right way. Sadbhihi sadachari eva uchyate. Etena shravanartham va anyatha va sanyasya shravanadikam akritva वेशेण जीवनं कुर्वन् सन्यासेनैव कृतार्थोऽस्मि इति यो यतिः मन्यते सोऽपि मिथ्याचारः एव इति सूचितं भवति. So Shankaranand says, let this be understood. By over here, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is making a very important indication. Suchitam, keval सूचना दे रहे हैं, and not saying it in words, but just indicating. The words are like a pointer. A person who has taken to the life of sannyas now does everything other than Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Shravanadikam akritva veshena jivanam kurvan. And if he lives only with the garb of a sannyasa, kritarthoham, and this is good enough. The doors of moksha are opened for me just because I have become a sannyasi. The word for sannyasi is yati. This is a very interesting thing if you have noticed. Yati means yatnashilaha, prayatnashilaha. The one who is in a constant, incessant effort, endeavor. Who is he? He is the one who has given up karma. And what is he doing? An incessant, relentless endeavor. Yati. एक क्षण जाया नहीं करता. He is not willing to spend even one moment. And therefore, if somebody has, which means he is engaged in Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasanam, Chintanam, Samadhi, Abhyas, whatever number of hours of the day that he has are already filled, only saturated with this. Should be saturated with this, then he is a yati. Relentless endeavor. हमने तो कर्म त्याग संन्यास का इसीलिए किया है। हाँ जी, इसीलिए किया। श्रवणादिकम अकृत्वा, if somebody does not do that, वेषेण एव संन्यासम अहम इति कृतार्थो इति मन्यते। Where is it gone? वेषेण जीवनं कुर्वन् संन्यासेन एव कृतार्थोऽस्मि इति यो यति मन्यते सोऽपि मिथ्याचारः। Then he is also deluded. Vimudhatma mithyacharah iti uchyate. This is not to criticize anyone. And therefore, Arjuna, what is the right way to live? Now, so he says here in the 7th verse, therefore, he who is not on the path of knowledge, either seeking knowledge and knowledge alone, or who is not established in knowledge, then for him there is nothing like karma sannyas. Then for him, following the path of karma is the only way. There is no other choice. Renunciation of karma is definitely not his path. Then for him, performance of his karma is the only way. Then how should he perform that karma? From here is the beginning of karma. He says, Yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabhate Arjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asaktasya vishishyate. Yastu, but he who. Now, tu is the pratyaya or the word which is used for giving the comparison, tulana, tu. Don't we say that parantu kintu? So, yastu indriyani manasa niyamyarabhate Arjuna. Now, he who has controlled the indriyas through his mind, meaning through the viveka. What does that mean? That what he should do, what he should not. What is yogya, meaning what is appropriate for him to chase and what is not appropriate for him to chase. Just because something looks nice, is that the only criteria for you to chase it? मुझे बताओ. Is that the only criteria just because something looks nice? No, sir. Are you qualified to chase it or not? Does the Shastra gives you the permission to do that or not? Is also important. Is it appropriate or not? You know, this is the reason why when these people go to USA or other places to study and all, oh my God, what happened now? When these people go outside to study, is my voice clear or is it echoing or is it too soft? Can somebody just give me a little feedback?
It's clear, Swami.
So the parents bring their children, Swamiji is going outside to study. You know, I say that, you know, at least follow keep some standards for you to live. Let there be some discipline. Let there be some idea. And I say, going out, you will do everything and meet everything. Because nobody is there to judge or nobody is there to control. At that time, have something. Nahi khana hai beef. We are not going to eat. At least this much. Can you not do? Can you not just do that much for yourself? Just because it looks nice, do I have to chase it? No, nishitta hai ye shastra se. So I'm not qualified for it. I will not take it. It may look delicious because the way it is advertised constantly there and the pictures are put on your menu card everywhere. Is it necessary? No. And this is the reason why we are saying that yastu indriyani manasa niyamya. Niyamya means the one who has controlled the indriyas, the organs of action and organs of perception through viveka, through the power of discrimination, through the understanding. Yastu indriyani manasa niyamya. Krishna Bhagavan says, Arabhate, he performs the action. Arabhate, he begins. What does he begin? As karma yogam. How does he, now his karma has become karma yoga, has to become karma yoga. And therefore, the one who is still qualified for performing action, that in the pravritti marga, you should perform the action, transforming it into karma yoga. Just not karma. It should get transformed into karma yoga. So you are going to do the same action, but there is going to be something that has internally changed in the action, because of which now it is going to be the karma yoga. Externally, it is going to look as karma, but internally it has become yoga. That's why it is karma yoga. Externally, it is going to look like you are just a responsible husband, a loving father, so on and so forth. But internally, there is something that has positively changed, and that is the yoga. And that's why it is karma yoga. Arabhate he Arjuna karmendriyahi. Through the karma, the indriyas, karmendriyas, the organs of action, 5 organs of action, karma yogam asaktaha savishishyate. So this person is asaktaha. Saktaha means not the Hindi wala sakhat. Asaktaha. That A is a negative particle, not attached. Not attached. Not attached means what? That should I stop being loving to my wife, my children, the people around? No. He is responsible. He is doing whatever is required to be done. He is going to be affectionate, because affection is what you as a parent have to give to the children. It becomes, you'll have to give a patient ear to your wife. Affection and care has to be there. But non-attached means over here, not just for the sake of gaining more pleasure or money or anything like that. There is no other ulterior motive. There is no other ulterior motive. Then what is the motive behind it? The motive behind it is because it is going to be karma yoga. He recognizes whether it is his wife, children, parents, in-laws, or anybody, just a man walking on the road. This is all different expressions of karma. These are all different expressions of Paramatma. And when Paramatma expresses through different names and forms, your action also changes that way. For example, this one Paramatma expresses as Shiva, Shakti, Ganesh, Vishnu, is not it? But when you are worshipping Ganesha, you will offer Durva, the blades of Durva grass. When you are going to worship Bhagavan Vishnu, you will worship him with the Tulsi Dala, with the leaves of Tulsi. Is not it? When you are going to worship Durga, you will worship with lotus and flowers. When you are going to worship Shiva, you will worship him with the leaves of Bilva tree. Bel ke patte chadha. Over there, you don't say, oh, everything is one. That's why whatever we do, put this on that and this on this. Everything is one only now. Do you do that? From head to toe, you are one, aren't you? But when it comes to putting headphones, where do you put them? Not in your nose or mouth. You put them just in your ears. Not on any other opening on your face. Why do you do that? Appropriate. So though this whole world, all, whether it is your wife or children or anyone around, everything is Paramatma expressing in these various names and forms, they may not know themselves, but that is what it is. Paramatma has chosen to remain under shroud over there. You recognize. And in that recognition, he will behave appropriately with his wife as a husband, with the children as the father, with the parents as a son, with the in-law as a son, and so on and so forth. But everywhere now, his action is going to carry the flavor, the fragrance of love and devotion. It does not have space for hatred, jealousy. Competition, main tu. He is doing karma yoga because somewhere internally he recognizes something more. And therefore, though the action is same, yet that action is different. Vishishyate is definitely different. Superior. Because everywhere it will carry the stamp of his love and devotion. Not that Yashoda cannot scold Sri Krishna. She gives him a good beating also. In the Western world, then this becomes big deal. Oh, my mother hit me. Sri Krishna is happy to take that beating from Yashoda. Not that I'm asking people to go about beating their children or anything. So Vishishyate. And therefore, Arjuna, furthermore, Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam Karma Jyayo Karmanaha Sharira Yatra Pichate Na Prasidhyeta Karmanaha Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. Perform that action which is Niyata. Niyata matlab that which is supposed to be done by you. Niyatam karma tvam kuru. That what is meant for you to do. So that what is appropriate for you to do. Do that what is appropriate. Don't do something that is not appropriate. Niyatam kuru karma tvam. Why? Because karma jyayo hi akarmanaha. Now you can understand that performance of karma is way far more superior than not performing the karma. Because not performing the karma is definitely not sannyas. Though it looks like not giving up of karma. No. Karma jyayo hi akarmana. And to give you another reason, sharira yatra apichate te tava. Your sharira yatra, even the body, for it to survive and to live the full course of life. What do they call it? The full duration of life will not be possible. Sharira yatra apichate na prasidhyate. It will, that also cannot be accomplished if you refuse to do anything. If you are not going to do, how are you even going to eat? If you're not going to do anything, how are you even going to quench your thirst? And that is the reason why Sharira Yatra Pichate Na Prasidhyeta Akarmanaha Niyatam Kuru Karmatvam. Shankarananji Maharaj says, Mumukshoho Naishkarmya Siddhaye Mithyacharattvadau Nivrittaye Cha Avashyam Karma Kartavyam Iti Suchayitum Aha. Now, for a mumukshu, for the seeker who is seeking liberation, also who recognizes that yes, moksha is what ultimately I am seeking. But I cannot say honestly that it is only and only moksha that I am seeking and is the purpose of my life now. It seems earning money, taking care of the family, and having my children settled. 1,001 things are also there on the list for me to do. Is not it? Making a little more money. But you cannot say, oh, Tumari mumuksha is a fake mumuksha. No, sir. It is not fake. It is true. Mumuksha is always true. All that can be said is it is not strong. The desire for liberation is not strong, but it is not fake. So if somebody has started walking the spiritual path, I'm not going to say this is a fake person. Unless and until he has the motivation of, getting applauded by the people, very spiritual. Light दिखता है पीछे. लाइट दिखता है तो इसको टेबल लैम्प बना के यूज करो. उल्टा खड़ा करो टेबल पे, तुम्हारे पीछे दिखता है ना। तो no, he's a mumukshu. There is mumuksha, and therefore for a mumukshu, he says that naishkarmya siddhaya, in order to attain moksha, nishkarma is Brahma, tasya bhavaha naishkarmya. Naishkarmya. In order to attain the oneness with God, to discover God, to discover to to discover this liberation, Naishkarmya Siddhi, and the other reason is Mithyacharattvadau Nivrittaye, in order to wean away from Mithyachar, to wean away from Mithyachar, from self-deception, to save yourself from self-deception. Karma avashyam kartavya. It is necessary for a person, for a seeker, to do the karma, meaning performing your niyatam karma. Okay, karma meaning that what is appropriate for you to do. And so this is because it is said, niyatam guru karma tvam karma jyayo hi akarma sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhyeta akarmana. So now I am going to do the karma, definitely, because that is what is appropriate. But then how to do the karma is the question. Now he is already above this idea. He has given up this idea that, I will not do because renunciation is the path to liberation. Now even renunciation also comes only by performing the karma. Without performing the karma, renunciation will also not come, knowledge will also not take place, and therefore you will miss the bus. Liberation is also not going to be possible, and therefore now perform the karma. What I need to do, what I must do, what is appropriate for me to do, I definitely will do. Well then, you are going to do, but please with something more, and that is with an attitude. With that attitude. What is that attitude and how it should be performed? How is now the question. How should I perform the karma? And the next shloka, Bhagavan says, Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Performing the action for the sake of Paramatma. What is that? Let us see. Not that Paramatma requires your help. And that's why I'm doing, work for God, because God needs it. I'm doing God's work. As if your God is, you're volunteering, and helping God. Upkar kar raha hai. Nahi. It is my need. Doing it for Parmeshwara is my requirement, not his. Then why are you doing it for him? You're saying. We will see what does it mean. And so now we will meet in the next Bhagavad Gita class to see this. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaa Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashikritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Thank you all. Thank you.